Um, Hello guys, welcome to Mugibson Meets. Today I do speak to someone who has been giving us hits and bangers for as far as I can remember. Do hang around and find out how the conversation goes. Thank you. Hi, Allan Toniks.
Yes,
Welcome to this show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really wanted to do this for a really long time, and I'm glad this can happen. Allan Ampere, how does the name Toniks come into the naming?
Well, this is something that, it's something that happened so far back as high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's common with most creatives and entertainers. These things like these names, they catch them from way back, you know. Because I did, I think this name grew from class, music class. I was really good at, in music we had the practical theory, and then we had the in-between, because practical is where you actually play the instrument, theory is the theory of music, and then we had what is in between, that is like when they play some beat drums or play the keyboard, and you're supposed to listen and interpret and write.
Okay.
You know, so I was very good at that kind of thing. I wasn't so good at theory because I didn't like, theory was basically the history, you know, Beethoven, Franz Schubert, or whatever those things. And basically the basis of all this was tones and semitones.
Oh.
The mathematics of tones and semitones.
Wow. So you're good with tones, so you became like Tony's guy.
Exactly.
So
that was the genesis of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, we've just come, we're fresh from a lockdown, so 4 or 5 months. It's been 2 years of craziness. I don't know how it was on your side, but it really affected everyone. How would you say you went through it as a person? For example, what would your daily schedule be like? Wake up?
Yeah, well, lockdown was a very, very lazy time. Yeah, but a silver lining for me that it was also a very creative time.
Okay.
My album has a lot of collabos, some of which we've been trying to put together for a while, but schedules were difficult on both sides to align, both for me and the artists and stuff. But this presented an opportunity that it was easy to get to studio, quick, make a program and follow through with it, because there wasn't much going on that's keeping people busy. And so I was able to, put together all these projects.
It allowed you more creative time and more studio time to connect with these various people to put together your work.
Exactly, because ideally before, you would either have to do collabos remotely, or you keep planning and you never actually follow through because you're busy, or you do a project for where you try to do a project in parts because you didn't finish, and then eventually you might even bang us and say, let's just do a whole new one, and then so this created that unique opportunity to be able, and also I discovered a lot of new undiscovered producers, creatives from all sides, videographers, producers, writers. I have a lot of people on my album that people won't know by name, but my, what should I call it? My modus operandus, my MO normal is that I'm more concerned with the art and the delivery than the name,
Yeah.
So I will not be prejudiced by the name as long as
the work is, the work speaks for itself.
Yeah, the craft is good.
That's so important. By the end of it all, we're introduced to this other side of you, Toniks, the actor, Allan Toniks, the actor. Yeah, I happened to attend a pre-screening for Chadala, which you feature. So when you got that phone call to audition for this role, how did you feel about it?
Well, it wasn't the first time I'd been approached to participate in film, but it's the first time that I guess I followed through. And also, I must say it also played a big role that it was locked down because of time.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of time you have to give to that project.
Shoot, and
It would be much more difficult.
right now.
Yes. Or you'd have to schedule things in such a way. Or they would have to, because as you know, the film industry is still really young here in UG. And so there's really no financial incentive, so to say. So, but since I had the time, I could venture into something like that. Okay. Today might be tricky because I would have to, cancel shows, do what, so it would probably create an issue as far as scheduling is concerned. So, I had the time, and the project was being, of course, run by Richard and Uganda, who I've worked with for so many years.
The working relationship was already there, so it was
a bit easier for them to approach me and we have a discussion, because we're always doing different activities. And it was really a learning experience for me because I was a novice, and it was good to be on set with the likes of Sam Bagenda, aka Dr. Bossa. There was people
Anita.
you watched since you were growing up. My mom.
She was in the thing.
Not my mom.
Oh, your mom in the film industry?
Yes, my mom in Chadala. Okay. I was also a fan. There are lots of people in there. We had some foreign actors as well who were very, very good, and it was inspirational to watch them, work. So I learned a lot. It was a very good experience, and I think I would do it again. And I look forward to doing some more stuff.
Now that you mentioned that you look forward to doing it again, you did act the role of Dave, and from the little I watched, you went to studio to ask for your demo back because he wasn't following through. He wasn't believing in you as an upcoming artist. So as an artist who was starting music back in the years, was there any moment you see Dave in yourself?
We all have, I think every artist goes through that at some point. I think my Dave moments weren't so much in studio because studio was never an issue, delivery. My Dave moment was on the side of after studio, whereby, we're doing something different musically. So, and of course, the only way to the fans is through the media. And so they're sort of the gatekeepers of what comes out and what stays in. So I remember my first song, I had a bit of an issue because we used to go on stations, used to say, no, this sound is too urban, you have to go and,
It's too much
tone it down to and I was like, but that's not me. Must we all do the same thing? Because you're telling me to go and do for so and so and so and so. So I think that was my day moment because we went to a couple of stations that would just be like, you know what, go back and wait and try again or something like that. But of course we persevered, and eventually even the people that, shut the door in our faces were the same people playing the song. And the rest was history. So my day moments were mostly in that phase
media.
After studio.
Putting the music
to
the people's eyes, of which the media is the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You're a guitarist, songwriter, singer, and recently an actor. That's quite too much talent for one person.
Thank you.
Around 2000, was it 15? You took part in the Airtel Trace Music Style.
It was, I think, 2013? 2014, I think.
How do you think that shaped you as an artist or contributed to the person you are right now?
Well, I believe that learning is a lifelong process.
True.
There's no one point where you reach and you say, I've learned everything, now I am ready. I don't need to learn anymore.
You've arrived.
Yeah, I've arrived. So every moment, every experience is a learning experience. There's a lot to learn from, and as far as, because a lot went into that Airtel Trace thing.
It was quite
apart
tight.
from stage performances, the rehearsals, back of house, at the back end, the setup, the presentation, the preparations that go through, So as an artist who has always been self-reliant, I always look, so it's not just about the performance, you know, I'm trying to understand the procedures they follow to set up such a thing, you know. So from the guy who lights, I always also like to do this with Steve, because we always, Fennon, because we always end up in the same. I'm curious, I want to know the guy who lights, how he decides what he lights, how. Then the sound guy who is doing the sound engineering, you know. And then, of course, the stage, then the back end, and of course the instrumentalists, and then the people who are, you know, vocal coaching other people and stuff like that. So it's a whole, it was like sort of as if a refresher course of like, you know.
To like polish up on a person who was already good. So it was like more.
So, yeah, you could pick this, pick up this, yeah. And of course also it had quite a bit of exposure, so that was also a plus.
Yeah, cause.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that we really know about Allan Toniks is whenever he goes to studio, he never misses. I think which is one of the reasons why people are really looking forward to this album.
True.
I mean, from Swag Meets, there's so many maiden and all those. What is like your formula? Because you know that people really struggle to have a hit, but you're not a person who struggles to work for hits. Just create music, that turns out as a hit. So what would you say is that thing that makes Toniks different, in that he doesn't struggle to make songs?
I think it's like, I wouldn't call it a vicious cycle or a double-edged sword, but every artist, when you first start out, you're not looking for a hit song, per se. I mean, when I did my first song, I was not looking for a hit song, because I did a song that wasn't like anything else there out in the market. Because normally when people are looking for hit songs, they try to do what they've heard that's working for other people. What that does is that you can't be unique. You build just like, you sound recycled, right?
Yeah.
So I think the challenge for creatives and artists, especially musicians, maybe is, especially once you become an established artist, then there's pressure from fans. You know Ugandan's favorite word, akapya kaliwa. That's pressure. Yagwamu. So that's pressure now. That pressure makes people go and look for a hit. Not that you're going to go to studio and enjoy and vibe and do something you enjoy like you used to when no one was asking you for any hit, and that is when you were doing the songs that actually turned out. And that's how you end up with a lot of one-hit wonders. Why? Because when they're doing that song, they're not under anyone's pressure direction.
They're in their bag?
Yes, they're in their own thing, doing them. And once the song is out, then people say, hey, we want another one. Now you go and say, producer, I want to hit. You listen to us. That one is, do like that one. And then like, now you bring out the people like, pressure becomes even more. You go and do you find someone that's done now 4 songs, nothing. So it's not easy to be able to, it's a mental thing for you to step back and be like, no matter how much pressure they're putting me on, I need to relax and be in my zone and do my thing and not be pressured to, you know, to deviate from who you are. So, and I think I believe that's the biggest maybe issue that ends up. I've had people totally change genres. Yeah. Some people have been in soul and they've been having a lot of fun, and then one day they wake up and they say now they want to do
Backswagger.
Because it worked for someone. But in the Runyankore, there is a saying that ogwenkoko to go gwendai.
That's what is for?
The chicken does not necessarily mean it is for the, and that is a what?
I'm not sure. I think it's a duck. Is it?
Duck is a bad. Okay, it's one of those guinea fowl.
Oh yeah. So what works for the what works for the hen
might not necessarily work for the guinea fowl. So don't confuse. So it's the same thing. Just because you have something work for someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work for you, because everyone has their own path. Yeah. You could all arrive at the same place, but you have to, you know, find your own path to get you there. And I believe that's it. And also, yeah, that's basically it. And also understanding that things don't stay static. Over the years, I've transitioned from producer to producer to producer. And if you realize, producers that will probably produce my songs 10 years ago, I'm producing. And so you find that I might have stayed the same artist, but if you check my discography, you see the producers, the other creators I work with keep changing with different phases and different phases. And so I think, yeah, so you have to be flexible, adaptable, and to resist that pressure of akapya kariwa.
Okay. So it comes back to you as a person telling yourself, you know what, there is that, but I think because there is this thing of, you know, it's an artist who makes the fun. You get, not the other way around.
True.
So at the end of the day, the artist always has to stay true to themselves and not give in to the pressure of.
Yes, because also not everyone that pressurizes you is actually trying to be genuine about, because someone can pressurize you just kutomeza. They pressurize you and you make a mistake. So it's not easy, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, so, okay, back then when I used to do active poetry, I have a cousin, so he's always castigated me for how I have cheesy poems and what, but I'm not really the lovey-dovey kind of person. And that's, I think, I see that, I see myself in you in that you have a lot of, you know, those cheesy, nice songs, the words anyone would want to hear, I mean, from My Miss, from Sikuleka, romance, falling for you, like there's so much love in those songs. So do these songs come from a point of there's someone special who inspires them, or it's just you being Allan Toniks, the man with the words?
Well, some songs are inspired, and others are just art in the moment. And all songs are inspired, but not necessarily by an individual life experience, you know. But once you get to studio and the beat is dope, you just get inspired in a certain direction somewhere. And different songs have different approaches. Songs like Falling For You, I first, composed while playing the guitar before actually going to do the track. So I did that actual, songwriting first and stuff. But you see, most times, the producer drops a beat and the beat inspires you to. So this was like the other way around.
To create melodies that fit in the beat, yeah?
Yes. So this, like, songs like Falling were the other way around, where you first create the progression and the lyrics, and you can actually sing a song before there's any beat. Then they make the beat to the song. Whereas most of the other songs, you find that it's the beat first, and then you write to the beat. So yeah, it's a process of fun. Yeah, just having fun with it. I think that's the best approach. That's the approach I find works best for good work. You just have fun with it, depending on whatever feeling you might be vibing. I mean, like on my album, I have a song. My song with APAS will be a very interesting. An interesting, lyrically, the subject matter in there will be a bit different. So my mindset at the time, the zone in which I was, is the one that gave me the direction to go that direction, and then you create something that's a bit different. So it's always interesting and fun.
I love that you mentioned that. 14 years ago, you got your first breakout hit, which was Beranange with Lily. And now that you mentioned a collaboration with APAS, who else have you, I mean, from 2016, 17, you've always talked of working with Mighty Nathan. You have something with Waiki on the album. So who else can people look forward to?
There's an album we have, we have Mighty Nathan. One of my favorite songs also. Anyway, that was my favorite. Yes, we have Mighty Nathan. And yes, APAS, like I mentioned. We have Shiba. And Waiki, of course. Then who else? Pepe Busi. And Lydia Jasmine.
Oh, so that's 7 collaborations?
7, 6, something like that. I think that's 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, Lily did some vocal work on it. I think my song with Shiba, she did a bit of
backup vocals.
yes.
Because I'd wondered, now that it's your time to like bring out your first full body of work, I was looking for the element of Lily, like.
I mean, she's always been there. People might not always know. Even my song to Chekole, she did the backups so beautifully. I remember. If you go back and listen to the song to Chekole, there's female backups there that are so beautiful. She's gifted in that way that she does things effortlessly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are like the 5 songs you're listening to at the moment? What's on your playlist? Before you could go in there, you were doing a something with. There was a track you were singing on. So it shows that you really listen to a lot of music. What are like the 3, 4, 5 songs which you're listening to at the moment? They don't really have to be new. They could be.
These days I don't even know their names, but I've been listening to a lot of French, Francophone music.
Okay, they have interesting music.
You know, the likes of Dajou, Tacy, what's his name? There's this song, Nakati. You know the song?
Nakati, Yalevi?
Yalevi.
Guy is very interesting.
Yeah. So I don't usually become so much of a fan of an individual because I listen to so much.
A little bit of that stuff.
So much different stuff.
Okay.
You know? And there's even a new guy, a Ugandan guy who I've been really, you know, he's called Cookie. He's a Congolese, but he used to play a guitar in one of the bands around town. Okay. But it turns out he's also a very good producer and singer. I like his work, okay. And I think in the future I'll even work with him. I mean, I'm always looking out for something new and something different. Yes, so that's how I end up having a lot of people that I work with that may not be known.
Yeah.
But I also take pride in that. I mean, like the time I did my song with Andre that he produced, Romance.
Sikuleka?
Romance.
Romance, yes. It was 2018.
Yes. It was introduced to me also by someone as some producer. I didn't know, like, who? Okay. I was like, I told you, mate, it's about the work, not so much about, yeah. But, I mean, after that song, went viral, the rest was basically history. Because then everyone was like, okay, who's this guy? And I think I think that's how the cycle of life should work, and in the industry. So some of the times when they say, uplift your brother or your contemporaries in the industry, those are some of the things, it costs you nothing. Like young producers, give them opportunity. Songwriters, give them opportunity. And I mean, tomorrow there'll be something and you'll be proud of that. Yeah.
The last one, I guess, for the day. What's the craziest thing a fan has ever done for you? Mine was reaching out to you for this interview. So what's the craziest someone has done?
I don't think I can, because I can't recall because there's been so much. Yeah. It's been like so
because you have a very young, wild audience, so I would imagine.
It's just so much. And it's been so long, you know. And I started out, my career blew up so early and so suddenly.
Yeah.
So it was really a roller coaster, a very crazy roller coaster at the beginning. Because, I didn't know my way through. Unlike most of the artists who, break through today, where there's like a management team behind them, or, the likes of like Azawi or Spice, they have like a management team behind them and stuff. Us, we were just street. It's just you get your bang, and it's just you just have to figure out how you. So as you can imagine, there's so many ups and downs, so many try and errors, so many things that maybe you do a bit differently maybe, because then you don't really know your way through. Yeah. So all I can say is that it's been a roller coaster, but I'm glad that we are where we are now. Yeah.
Introduce your album to the people and where they can find it, because you opened a website recently.
True.
So how can people find the music once it's out? 8th June?
Yes. So yes, officially on 8th June, I'll be having my listeners' party at Naguru Skies.
Okay.
And that's when we'll also release the album online. So to be available, of course, on the usual platforms, iTunes,
The usual guys,
Spotify, blah, 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 blah. But you can log on to allantoniks.com.
Okay.
On there, you'll be able, either you can be redirected to one of the other platforms or YouTube, but we're also going to have an option of direct purchase.
Physical copies?
No, digital. But so why we did that is because with most of the other platforms, you must have a credit card or PayPal. And we realize there's a lot of people that don't have that but would be willing to. So we've put on the website, you can actually buy with mobile money.
Interesting.
Yes. And so event tickets also on the website, as well as merchandise. And we're going to launch what we're going to call the 1 million campaign.
Okay.
So we'll be selling songs at 1,000 Uganda shillings, which is like what fraction is it of $1 now?
Like
Like
a quarter of
0.
Is it a quarter?
0.45.
An eighth, could be an eighth, I don't know.
It's very little. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to sell 1,001,000.
So off the tracks of the album, someone can buy each song individually.
Yeah, $1,000.
Yeah.
So we want to sell at least 1,001,000. And I have a CSR project that I'm interested in and trying to execute. So I figured I would also incorporate it in this 1 million campaign, where part of the proceeds would go to fighting against and sensitizing people about gender-based violence, which has been quite a bit of a prevalent issue in our society. So I figured if I can at least shine light on that, do the little I can, sensitize people, create awareness about it, and also approach it from the angle as it's not just a responsibility of the ladies or the women to be the ones to, try to find ways of tackling that issue. Even as the guys, I think we should play a part.
Add to their voice, yeah?
Yeah, that we can.
Because it goes both ways.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did have a tongue twister for me, and I had one for you. So we're going to pick heads or tails, then see who goes first. And like we said, we hope the coin favors you. So heads or tails?
Tails.
Hey.
So what's heads and what's tails? This is heads.
I think heads is the answer.
So the fish is
The heads. Yeah.
and the coat of arms is tails.
The tails. So you chose. Who's going first?
I say tails, right?
Yeah.
I'm going first. But before I go, I just want to say, please go and stream our album on all online music platforms. And you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter at Allan Toniks. Allan is double L, Toniks is IKS. And of course, also log on to allantoniks.com for all the information, everything Allan Toniks you find right on there. So, my tongue twister is, she sells seashells at the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Okay.
So he failed twice. Wait, did he get it right?
The second time. Now mine. I'm going to say it 2 times. First is going to be slow, the second is going to be really fast. Sean could have shot his shot at Sean if you want shine. Sean could have shot his shot at Sean if you want shine.
Sean would have shot his shot at Sean if you want
Sharon.
Oh,
At
Sharon.
Sharon.
Oh. Okay. Sean would have shot his shot at Sean if you want shine.
don't be shy, go stream Awo, the album, once it's out. Thank you so much for watching, and to the camera crew,